In the modern MotoGP era since 2002, and on pole position for the Petrucci, Nakagami, a career best qualifying for him in MotoGP, and Kota winner Alex Rins on row 3. Mardell and Miller, Aleix Espargaro, Pol Espargaro and Johan Zarco are on row 6. A pretty wild card, Bradley wins for Ducati, Honda and Suzuki so far in 2019, the first time since 2008.
25 laps coming up. Lights out in Spain. Perfect start.
Dovizioso's been sat up. Yeah, he got picked up big start there, Dovizioso. Marc Marquez then just went away. Well, he's in fourth.
Yeah, that's a good start from Vinales when you consider what his starts are normally like. A disaster then for
Charge already, Yokota. Marquez stands first from 13th to 10th.
Morbidelli here will not lose sight of Marc Marquez. There is Maverick Vinales. Likes it round here. He's fast through sector 3. We now enter sector 4.
Trio of Yamaha, he's got to fight his way through on.
Marc Marquez has got it all squeaky clean here.
Petrucci at the Lorenzo corner. Can he hold firm against Petrucci in the first corner? He can.
Kagami, who himself is ahead of Valentino Rossi. Not a lot of headway made by Valentino so far. He is up.
Who was one of Rins' first lap victims. Crutchlow down in 8th place. Hasn't been the start that he wanted for
Rossi going through. Once Takaki Nakagami. Yeah, Lorenzo's in no man's land there.
He was way wide. The Pedrosa mistake at the Pedrosa corner.
Morbidelli's doing well so far to hang on to the tail here of
closing up. Is Morbidelli going to try and attack Marquez into the Lorenzo corner? This would be bold. No. Conclusion to that Grand Prix. Marquez then leads. Fastest man on the circuit, though, is the man in second place. There's Dovizioso.
He just needs to calm down a bit here, Dovizioso. It's been a bit of a messy first couple of laps. He needs to get into some sort of rhythm. There's Quattro. Can't get close enough in the braking zones. And on acceleration, Marquez can just pick up that Honda and ping it out. We're on board here with...
Beats Jorge Lorenzo's 138.735, also set on the Yamaha. Long time ago now in 20...
The Austin race winner trying to find a way through on his Suzuki.
Yeah, Alex Rins. Usually such a force in the last 10 laps or so. If there are two main strengths of Dovizioso and Ducati, it's braking. One of the latest breakers in MotoGP is Andrea.
Again, and it's Fabio Quartararo, a 38.330 from the 20-year-old
Marquez. 38.455 for Marquez, 38.384 for Morbidelli, and then slight race of 38.4260. That was on par with the top 3 ahead of him.
Well, that bodes really well.
How tough and tight the level is in MotoGP this year. The expected fireworks, the big charges through the pack, 15th place and really suffering.
Look how much time Morbidelli makes up through these right-handers, turns 11.
That's where the Yamaha makes its lap time. Fast corners, high corner speed, lots of 6.3. That group behind this top 3 have got into a really strong with Quartararo and Vinales.
Intriguing so far. Marquez in control, but not brilliant job in second.
Well, Jorge Lorenzo told us this will be the race that judge him on the Repsol Honda. Time to...
You look, can he get closer this time to Marc Marquez? To trains untroubled since taking...
Alex Rins, he's made that move. He looked at that a couple of laps ago. That was almost a dress rehearsal, but look at that. It was just a sitting duck on the straight.
Nothing he could do about that. Alex Rins, of course, a rider who where the career ended for Mick Doohan. Into Cito Pons, turn right, turn 5 here, the right hand.
Pons.
Quartararo was going so hot there into the Dani Pedrosa corner.
He got sucked in a little bit hot there, didn't he? Lost place. As Steve said, there's a knife and fork being ready for Lorenzo and a large piece of humble pie coming.
He's through on him now. Can he close that gap down? You've got to believe he can. To Maverick Vinales up ahead of him in 4th. He's brave. Brilliantly done by Rins. Onto the home straight we go, no check.
Right, that was tight. Cal Crutchlow almost tagged the back of Danilo Petrucci there. That was very, because you can see Alex Rins just trying to close down that top 4. He's got to find a way through quickly.
Cannot make any more progress.
Crash for Pecco Bagnaia, unfortunately, Steve. First ever top downhill right-handers caught Bagnaia out, so that's his race over.
Month of the race now for Marc Marquez. He's got 0.4 of a second in his back pocket over Franco Morbidelli.
What an Franco Morbidelli. He's never kept this kind of company before in MotoGP.
Long way left though.
Again, were just that slightly bit faster than Marc Marquez. The pair of them have just done their TT mates.
Interesting that in the top 10, everyone's gone for the hard front.
Hard enough for Jorge Lorenzo in these hotter conditions. He just has not got going at all, Lorenzo. He's finally in the one.
Let's have another look at the start then. It was a brilliant start from Marc Marquez. Not so for Marc Marquez, and then Morbidelli was brave.
Rubbing his race in between Petrucci and Crutchlow. Brilliantly again. He was momentarily in for second place, and he thought, right, I'm in business here. And as Steve falls through on Danilo Petrucci. Such a hard bike to pass around the rest into the Ducati, because, and of course, with all these sort of slow gear corners as well, some of the low gear exits, the Ducati just fires out there.
Morbidelli on this lap's just looking like he's struggling a bit to stay in touch with him. Conversely,
8.4s, the three behind them, Quartararo, Vinales and Rins, 38.3s. Valentino Rossi actually was just a fraction slower than Marc Marquez, but he's still down in that 10th place, cannot find a way through.
There will be 16 laps to go this time around. We'll keep an eye on the time. It's at 30.
There is Bagnaia. Has Marc Marquez decided behind him? Yeah, they've got nothing for him at the moment. Marquez in the blink of over 1 second.
Well, Alex Rins at the moment is paying for a bad qualifying again, because as he goes to corner for him, Fabio Quartararo looks like it's just a matter of time before he's going to pounce here on Franco.
Endurance. Are the Yamahas already suffering in these hotter conditions? Because at the moment they can't live with the pace of my day. Maverick Vinales just basically, it was a disastrous. Quartararo just had a little
here for him to pick up his first ever podium.
Marquez has gone, Steve. Marquez has just blitzed them on that first time. Vinales kept himself in the 38. He's quicker than the two Yamahas ahead of him, but the speed on the
field, that they've got a great chance now of finishing on the podium. Maverick Vinales hasn't been on the podium since, of course, he
pulled it down on the brakes there. Thought he was going to run well wide, with Fabio Quartararo snapping at his heel.
Built a 2-second lead.
But was clear, and inexplicably he crashed out. Here comes Alex Rins. That's ruthless, merciless up the
race so far for me, Matt, is Dovizioso. I was convinced he had the pace to run with Marc Marquez here today, and at the moment
he's going to be ahead of Dovizioso in the championship, and he's already had a DNF. To be leading the championship with this year's World Championship. Him and that Honda combination are so formidable. He may well turn into a bit of a rolling roadblock pretty soon, Franco Morbidelli. Rins will try. Well, let's be honest, Fabio Quartararo is not going to win the World Championship this year. He's got absolutely nothing. Put some pressure on Marquez. You know, he does make mistakes. We've seen it. Let Marquez see his pit ball when the time comes.
So Marc has already responded. There is Morbidelli. Colales look a lot quicker than him right now. Behind them, Rossi still can't find a way through on Jack Miller.
Yes, how hard it is to race the Ducati, because it's so good on the brakes, and it's ain't that phase of the season where he was racing Dovizioso and Lorenzo so much, and it was absolute at times.
Well, it certainly seemed that way from Brno last year to here. Dovizioso, he lost big points in Austin. He does not want to lose big points here.
Well, unless Marquez sweeping line as Suzuki boss Shinichi Sahara looks on.
And Marquez has just set the fast.
They did. Enough is enough. He's now going to...
Plan A worked out a treat, didn't it, for Marquez?
And I've got to say, now he's 1.3 seconds ahead of Franco Morbidelli. So Quartararo said, Frenchman crawling the extreme. Heartache for Fabio Quartararo. What's happened?
Rins has now gone through.
We're sat next to French TV, Canal Plus, Randy de...
Well, I'll tell you what it has done. As heartbreaking as it is for Quartararo, Rins has gone through now on Morbidelli.
An uppercut of anti-Joshua cautions on the chin of Fabio Quartararo. That is...
Well, this leaves then Alex Rins in second. Morbidelli in third, but also started to get into a bit of a rhythm now as well.
He's smelling blood, and what Dovizioso knows from past history is position right now. Now, that is the bitterest of pills to swallow. He
can't change up.
It's going to take a bit of time for him to get over that one. Imagine this result, Steve, going home to Le Mans. gutty for the show because he kept Marc Marquez on this for a long, long time. And Marc Marquez, Jack Miller, lap 15 of 25. When those tyres are deteriorating, it's a 38.
To this race left. You're looking here at the battle for the last podium place right now between Morbidelli, Viñales and
Morbidelli. He's yielded now to Maverick Viñales. He's got fellow Italian Andrea Dovizioso to contest. Motor Racing's manager, his priority is the factory team, but to have seen Fabio Quartararo denied, for Fabio Quartararo, I mean, cruel in the extreme.
But cruel, all right, guys. When he didn't change gear, so something as simple as that. Poor old Fabio's crying his eyes out, the young fella. You know, this morning I spoke to a few riders and they said from 10 laps this track. What do you think, Piero?
Yes, it's true. With the high temperature, the front tire is very stressed. Alex Rins with the medium front, they are doing quite well. The lap time is still going down and down. No. It's just they may be slow down a couple of tenths, but there is no problem to crash.
He was looking vulnerable, Steve, and he's just running out of grip, isn't he? He had to push hard to them, that's for sure. Marquez then, at the moment, in cruise control, although he's Dovizioso and Petrucci. Aleix Espargaro 12th, then Stefan Bradl in Repsol Honda, because one side of the garage is poised to be ecstatic, the other side
will be down in 9th place, trying to find a way through on Jack Miller, who has been unable then to attack.
View pretty much for the whole of the Spanish Grand Prix so far. He's certainly been able to evaluate and set the charge for the top 6, because with Franco Morbidelli up for a top 6, which would be...
It gets worse for Valentino Rossi, although he has now made his move up the inside into turn 13. He's left it too wide, though. It's third. Then it's the 2 Ducatis of Dovizioso and Petrucci. Yamaha's day could get
3,000ths of a second quicker than Viñales, nothing between their lap times. With the greatest respect to KTM and Pol Espargaro, nobody could have foreseen coming in front of him at turn 6, the Pedrosa corner, and finally Valentino Rossi has got a view and a horizon
that we didn't expect to see this weekend between Lorenzo and Pol Espargaro.
Coming at all.
Well, certainly not at the end on Friday either.
And he was talking big, wasn't he, all weekend? This was going to be the Grand Prix way.
A bit of a lonely second place here right now. He's got almost 2 seconds over Maverick Viñales there in third, and Petrucci. Not a lot to separate them.
Good job so far, though, done by Viñales.
Boss as well. Valentino Rossi's about to come flying past like he stood still.
Locking horns there. Rossi didn't really have to fight for it, and now he's got rhythm to try and whatsoever. So Rossi, in the last couple of laps, has suddenly got Miller, Morbidelli, 8.372. That was a smidgen slower than Marc Marquez.
At least there's 10 points on offer for Valentino Rossi there.
Yet again, Dovizioso versus on the previous lap. Here's a man who you wouldn't take in Texas Austin and crashed out when leading a MotoGP race, which is not a bad stat really when you think about
earlier on after what happened in Argentina and Austin.
Yeah, would we have had a home podium for the first time in MotoGP in Jerez? It's Maverick Viñales, Brigade brigade behind him, are ganging up.
Dovizioso looks primed for it.
Yeah, Dovizioso knows as well.
He'll be locked on points with Marc Marquez,
exactly.
And Rins will be one down on them going into...
Jump start wrecked his race in Austin, and he's crashed out here in Jerez, so...
Dovizioso continues to look at ways past Maverick Viñales. He's getting closer, and that 4-second gap out front on Alex Rins, who I think has wisely decided there's no...
Why is he almost 5 seconds behind Honda's test rider, Stefan Bradl? Put simply,
inside the top 6.
Early doors, I was almost going to stick him down as a genuine clear of Alex Rins. Nakagami, Miller and Aleix Espargaro to overheat the front tyre. Very hard on the front tyre, this Jerez circuit, hard braking, lots of hot see Rossi, because Rossi's 5 seconds up the road, so yeah, Miller's encountered some kind of issue here.
As you say, this man, Alex Rins, well, were he a bit further up than 9th on the grid.
Of late, just looking at some of the stats, Alex Rins is now on familiar sight now to see that number 42 right at the sharp end in MotoGP.
93 to bounce back, and Jack Miller's weekend has just got even worse. The Australian has... What's he waving at as well? Is he upset with somebody else? Has there been contact with Aleix Espargaro?
Well, we're about to find...
Oh dear, oh dear. That's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, I think, down there.
He's pushing Lorenzo up the order, even though he won't be inside the top 10. Now the Andrea Dovizioso desperately wants to try and get those 3 extra points, get on the podium, being off the onslaught.
That's the championship as it stands, with Dovizioso staying.
That mistake in Austin, because he could have easily won 3 races on the spin here now and been absolutely demolishing the field.
A millisecond away from setting the lap record there.
Viñales and Dovizioso
backing off, but he has to be a bit careful. Big chance now for Dovizioso on the back straight. Can he get close enough to make it?
Dovizioso until we get into the Lorenzo corner, turn number 13. Marc Marquez is now deep back the last corner. That's the only opportunity that Andrea Dovizioso is going to get. Is he going to get good rhythm, good covered brilliantly?
Well, here we are in Jerez, and Marquez bounces back. The checkered
place, a 1:38.157, which finally broke Andrea Dovizioso. Quartararo and Morbidelli early on, but they found a way back to the top step of the podium. Never has he finished off the MotoGP podium since he came here in 2013 years on the spin now in Jerez. In fact, it was an all-Spanish podium at the Spanish Grand Prix.
The number 42 again, the Austin race winner, coming through from 9th to take 2nd.
Last all-Spanish 1-2
won that. Dovizioso 4th, and what about poor old Fabio Quartararo?
Easy 2nd place, Steve. It was comfortable. He was doing brilliant low 138s, and then this happened. You talk about the highs and lows of Grand Prix motorcycle racing. What, 24 hours? And you see the flip side of that coin, tears of despair from poor old Fabio.
Then he's back in control. He will take a championship lead into France, albeit just 1 point. And guess what? There are 9 points covering 4 riders going into France.
Yeah, Valentino Rossi, 6th spot. He wasn't going to catch Quartararo, of course, so he was gifted that place. Viñales, of course, we haven't seen him on a podium since his victory, Yamaha's only victory of 2018.
Well, today than it has been previously, because if he can get it up there at the start, then he shows.
Also 7th place for him, and Andrea Dovizioso then. Well, there is still no podium. Austin and Jerez last year were awful. 3rd, 4th and 4th in that sequence. He'll definitely take that.
It is a great opening couple of laps for Rins to get himself in touch with the podium.
4 rounds into the championship, but this man leads, and he's had a nil quite. He's had a DNF at some least.
Mark's mother, Dan. Yeah, I agree, Matt. It is
bad days at the office. Well, they don't really get much worse than that. Lorenzo started 11th. Well, here's Maverick Viñales, first podium since Australia. He's with Simon.
First Yamaha.
It's been really good. Actually, I win some places on the start, so I'm really happy. The team is working good. We were P3, we were 16, and we recovered a lot of places, so it's been tough, but we worked really hard.
Another brilliant ride through the field to the podium, Alex, and it doesn't look easy.
Position here in Jerez de la Frontera. Vamos!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's around this circuit in this temperature, but you managed it perfectly.
Yeah, honestly, I'm convinced about my performance. I'm convinced about the performance of the bike. I'm feeling really good. We were disappointed in Austin, but we must enjoy this victory, and we are leading the championship again.
Great job, Mark.
Maverick Viñales making his way over to... Absolutely over the moon with this. For Marc Marquez and the Repsol Honda team. Viñales, his first ever podium in MotoGP here at this circuit. He sent hands over 2nd place to Alex Rins. Trophy to the world champion and back-to-back winner here in Jerez. That will sit pride of place. That goes to Mark as well. On his 119th career podium, Marc Marquez, and 72nd career victory, and all the way to France. It is the start officially where Marc Marquez is victorious, and now we start this long European tour, which what is to come next? Chapter 4 belongs to Marc Marquez. Stupendous victory in the end for Marc Marquez. He wins it by 1.6. He rolled off and pulled up the standoff win zone. Pol Espargaro's there ahead of Zarco, Rabat, Abraham and Bradley Smith. In terms of the championship, as we said, 9 points covering 4 still, but it's all change. Much up into the top 10 of the World Championship overall. Jorge Lorenzo. But there, Stefan Bradl with some points on offer.